Hi, this podcast is gonna be about musicians and how the independent music is starting to take a place in the world. Okay, and with you, I would like to introduce to Anastasia. She's making music from Russia. And if you want to say hi or something to the people, even
Hello. Hello, people.
if you start to thinking all the time that we are speaking for the people, I think this is gonna be a bad podcast. Even this, I'm gonna let it in the record because I
Mhm.
think is the people understand that it's only just a talking. It's not we are not a teachers to show
Mhm.
that you have to do this and you have to.
Yes.
Well, at least I have to show you how to make the things that and you don't get nothing. Then it's it's a good point. My point.
Uh-huh.
I can tell you what you can do, but to get the things wrong. But okay,
Okay.
then Anastasia, you have your music on Spotify, and
Right.
um, we're gonna start with this question. And what was the first musical instrument with which you were introduced to music?
Yeah. It's an interesting question because I don't have musical education, and when I was a little kid, I was taken to the music school by my grandmother, but she took me away, and I think after 2 years, I was learning how to play piano, but I don't remember most of it. I know where notes are and chords, and and I didn't study music uh, until I was 15 years old when I met people who were playing guitars like teenagers. Oh my God, it's noise outside.
Yeah. And,
Well, I will repeat.
no. Even that we can say that about we have like 30 minutes talking and we didn't have any sound until now. Even
Okay.
it's funny. I think it's gonna be so interesting that I'm from Mexico and you are from Russia. I never have been on Russia. I didn't live my childhood on Moscow. It's supposed here in Russia you have a good musical education. Is that right?
Well, it's not quite a education, you know. Uh, I like I said, I don't remember most of things.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a teenager, like everyone, I guess I met people, teenagers who were playing guitars, and I was playing with them also. So I learned some chords and stuff, and that's how I started just to play songs. My favorite songs we were playing with my friend, and so I don't know what is really my first instrumental. It's a piano or it's a guitar. I don't know. Maybe uh, guitar because I started to create songs with guitar, not with piano. So
Even
I guess it's guitar.
it's so popular. Even here, I know that you have something like balalaika, right?
Actually, it's a funny story. Well, we have a friend, and he had his birthday a month ago or so, and he asked to give him balalaika as a present, and we
Really?
were yes, and we were shocked, but okay, if you want, and we gave him balalaika, and he now is learning how to play balalaika, really. But actually, balalaika is not.
It's not so popular.
Popular, yes. No, it's not popular. It's like an ethnic instrument here. Everyone plays guitars and piano, more ordinary
Because
instruments.
here is gonna be so good to break the stereotypes about that. Because if you think about here all in Mexico drink tequila and dance mariachi, it's supposed, and everybody's with the hat and under the tree thinking, but it's totally nothing to do with the truth. It's a good point. Then the guitar, as in all the world, is the popular
Yes,
instrument. Yeah.
yes.
When did you make your first song and thought of music?
The first thought I had when I was 16, but I was very shy in that and I was unconfident. So I didn't make anything. And the first try to write a song, I guess, was when I was 19 years old. And I was playing some folkish songs about mysterious spiritual experience because I kind of I have a friend who is also into that topic. So we were, I was creating songs about, it's not quite about spiritual experiences. It's still art. It's still music,
Yeah.
but it was based on my experience, which included spiritual experience. And I was
When you say
uh
spiritual, is something about God or something about the
no
ghost or
ghosts.
yeah. Something about the ghost.
Well, actually, it's the same for me. I'm not.
Okay.
It's difficult to speak about religion or spiritual experience. For me, it's like it's the same. It's the art. So when I was writing my poems, which I consider very bad now, but uh, that time I thought they're good, and when I was creating songs, I was just reflecting on experience that I had. So it was not about God or about ghosts.
Yeah.
It was like the reflection on it. And as usual, my topics were about life and death and something like this. It's more philosophy than some religious kind of stuff. So
Even for the people, we're gonna think that somebody is hearing us. I think that it's gonna be so interesting since now where I can find you in Spotify, like Anastasia. No, like tell me.
it's actually Kataeva. It's my surname, and I choose to I chose my surname as a name of the project. So Kataeva is everywhere. It's Spotify, it's YouTube, and everything else.
Then if I spell Kataeva, I'm gonna find you.
Kataeva.
Yeah, then I was okay. Then can we describe that your music is a mix between light and dark? Can I say dark to describe your music? You're
Yes, of course.
comfortable with that?
Yes, yes. Actually, it's dark folk. Well, when people ask what genre do you play, I'm always confused. But I think that dark it's very well explanation. Dark folk, indie folk, dark experimental music also. And well, I'm really looking into becoming a trip hop, trip folk
Okay, got
artist.
it. Yeah.
I really want to become, well, I like folk. Maybe I don't listen to folk right now, but I was, and well, everybody says that, okay, your music is folk.
Yeah,
But
but even for me, it's a good point because as all the genres, you can say the rock and roll is Foo Fighters and the rock and roll is the Beatles, and
mm,
maybe they don't have so much in common. We're gonna, since that
mhm,
point, I'm gonna
mhm,
start to ask you this. Then for you, the folk music, if you start to look the USA music, folk music is Bob Dylan for
mhm,
them. In your
mhm.
case, or at least for me too, you take that concept from the word because it's something about the roots from the musician, the Russian music.
It's
You take the name folk for that, or you take folk because it's made it with wood instruments, or what is your concept about why folk?
I don't have the answer, but I think that folk is mostly about the collective experience, the collective mind. When we because folk is about the society, about the nation or ethnical group. So when we say folk, we we think about some culture. And a culture, I suppose, a culture is the collective. It's very difficult to
No,
say.
but I got it, the point. For some people, it's a waste of time to try to put a sticker in a song. You cannot have a sticker for your music. I think it's totally better, and because even the lyrics that you have, they are kinda dark too, right?
I don't think that my songs are dark, very, very dark. No, there is also light in them
Yeah.
because I always want to have a possibility to, to work on some kind of problem. If there is a problem, I want to work on this problem, and that's art for me. So when I write music, I'm working on some kind of problem. For example, the vegans, not vegans, but vegans.
Yeah. Not about the broccoli people.
Yes, not broccoli people. No, it's actually about also about repressions a bit, because when I say repressions, in that case I mean the deportations of people, not saying sending them to gulag camps, and and also my own experience because I traveled a lot by train through my country, and so it's kind of mixed when you're moving from personal experience to collective experience, and this is the space where you can have some reflections. So I don't think that it's really dark song. Yes, it speaks about. It has some levels. On some level, it speaks about the trauma, the collective trauma.
Yeah.
But there are also other levels and personal experience. Also, like a person who is traveling by train, and I don't know. For example, he looks at the window and he sees like the forests are moving,
Yeah.
and he's thinking. And actually, a lot of trains in
Even
Russia, they are old, very old from Soviet times. So it's kind of the inspiration. And you are traveling by train, and you think about how many years it was. I don't know.
No, but even for me, it's so good concept as you are describing now, that really is like a travel train. Because you have peace when you see the forest. You have if you see, as you said, we're gonna suppose that you're traveling to somewhere, but as in the train, you can see a bad landscape and a good landscape, and it's so good because even for me, well, as I told you, your music is give me peace.
Oh, really?
Really. Maybe,
Okay, thank you.
Maybe because I don't understand the lyrics, but even if in Spanish I do the same. Even I don't care so much For me, it's more important the beat and the music and how you handle your voice to make melodies instead of the lyrics itself. But for me, really give me peace. The other day I was working and hearing listening your music, and it was so good trouble that even it's totally for me a good point. And as you said, because it's like maybe can be dark, but it's like a commercial dark. But every time maybe if I try to give you a sticker, it's gonna be bad for you because it's totally a different concept of the artist and the concept from the people. Even I saw I was hearing the other day a podcast about is the drummer from Nirvana, and he was speaking that in one lyrics, it was the host from that TV show saying that, oh, I like it your song because you are saying that you want to fly and you want to get high level and you want to get some spiritual level so higher, and the guy said, it's not about that. It's because I wanted to be a pilot and to take a plane. And then the girl gets laughing a lot because the guy was really saying that he want to take a plane to fly around the world. and to teach him and how to pilot a plane. And the girl, she was trying to make a concept so spiritual, and God take me to the heaven, and I don't know what else. But it was for me so funny. Even I start to laugh. For me, even when I am writing, I sacrifice a few words in my case. If sounds better the word speaker instead of drummer, then I'm gonna take a speaker for me, even if I sacrifice the concept from the lyrics. Even for you, is more important the lyrics, the music, or they are at the same level?
Everything everything is important, because for me the song is, I don't separate the song into lyrics, melodies, soundscapes, and everything else. I think about the song as the the whole the whole project, and the lyrics are very much into the song. So you work on the music, and by you I mean me. And when you work on a project, it's not the kind of like you take lyrics and then you take some random project you have and just comparing them. Well, it's not for me. When I
You
do
don't
the
do that.
project, when I do the project, if I take the text, I'm trying to work on music exactly for this text. Or if I have the music, I write lyrics especially for this music. The lyrics for this music. So I don't know what is more important, because everything is important. For example, the Vegans, as you said, that it brings you peace, and the lyrics are actually very dramatic, and it can't be the most important thing, because you like the music and I like lyrics, so it can be devalued, So I think it's not even a question what's more important.
Okay. Then for me it's so good. Even for the people that is hearing us, that I said that I'm not gonna say that, but I think that a good point is to say that you are a solo artist. You make the drums, you make
Yes.
the background, then and I think that it's so important, because when you make music with another people, it's so different, the process. With us, sometimes it's between you and the machine. What musical instruments can you play? Because you know that you are a solo artist. Then you play the guitar, you play the piano.
Yes. Well, I don't know if I'm intermediate into music, because I have some level, but it's not
Yeah, don't
very
worry. Yeah.
professional.
Even
It's
I
not
can change the question, like you try, well, but it sounds
to
so
try.
even offensive. Yeah, even okay, you try to play the guitar,
You
you
do
try to
try.
play the piano.
Yeah, I try. Yeah, I try hard. I try hard to play guitar. I try hard to play piano. And well, I work in Ableton Live. It's the place where I make music. I try to sing, and I try to speak. And what else? I
Do
played ukulele.
ukulele? Okay.
Yes, I played a little ukulele. What else? What else? What are the instruments?
Like the bass.
What
Do you play
instruments
the
we
bass?
have? I don't have the bass guitar, but I make the bass inside Ableton.
Okay. Even for me to play for me, it's kind of funny when you say, as a guitar player, I want to play another instrument, and you say you want to play the bass. It's like, come on, do the saxophone or something, because it's almost the same.
Yeah.
Almost, at least the technique is almost the same, but really totally is another instrument. In the case of the drums, how do you make them? With BST or with the same Ableton drums, or how?
Drums.
Drum,
I
drum.
I I think that I used everything you mentioned now. I used plugins. I used Ableton drums. I we we actually we are working now on a project with my friends. which is called Evening Coffee Party.
Evening coffee
And
party?
yes, Evening Coffee Party.
Oh, it's a good
And
name.
yeah, it's so good. And my friend, he actually recorded rhythm, like drums with
As I told you, yeah.
clapping or with some other stuff, and it was very nice. So I think we used everything which is possible, and we have a little drum right here,
Yeah.
and I actually we used it in the Tree album. My friend, oh shit, my friend
Yeah.
played it. So, you know.
Can I find that on Spotify already, or still is in the cradle?
Do you mean what song do you mean?
No, about that evening party coffee.
It's not ready. No,
It's
it's
not
not on
ready. Okay.
Spotify. It's not ready. We are working on it right now. It's not ready, but it will be ready very soon.
Do you sing there, or do you play the guitar, or?
I sing there. We don't have any guitars right there. We
Okay.
decided not to have guitars.
Uh-huh.
We have different instruments, but not guitars. Was like the how do they call it? I'm trying to remember the word. I don't remember it even in Russian.
That was Russian?
I don't remember it even
Okay.
in Russian.
I'm kidding. Yes.
Challenge.
Like a challenge.
Yes,
It's
not
a
using
challenge.
guitar was like
Yeah.
a challenge. Yes.
Yeah, even for me, I have a few songs with no any guitar, and it's so kinda, well, for me so bad because always the guitar. Until now that I'm kinda old is when I start to look even music without guitars, because in the beginning I was so, if
Yeah.
there are no guitars then it's not music.
There is no music.
Yeah, even so determinist. But
Well,
I'm kidding. Of course that I'm kidding. But it
yes.
was something like that, like I needed the guitars all the time.
Actually, well, my friend, he is an ambient musician.
Yeah,
He's an
yeah.
ambient musician, so he uses different devices and also a guitar sometimes, but of course not in a conventional way. But it sounds really good, so anything can be used. And
Is ambient more like with the direction of techno, or ambient more with the direction of atmospherical music?
atmospherical music, yes.
More atmospherical.
Atmospherical music,
Okay.
yes. He has his own philosophy of music, so it's not a topic for our podcast.
For you, what was the difference between to make your music by yourself and now with this project? What do you think that is the big difference?
Between working solo and between working with people. Yes, there's a difference because when you're working solo, you are creating your own idea and you are working on representing this idea, representing the senses that you have. And when you're working into a collaboration or into the band, even if you are, how they say, front man, front woman, right? But you're still working with people, and it's always an experiment of the collective work. You never know what you will have. Let's be honest. Even when you're working solo, you never know what what you will have at the end, and especially when you're working in a band, because everyone has his own ideas, and sometimes they're really, really great, and you are looking at them and thinking, "Wow!" So, yes, it's different. I'm working into 2 collaborations right now, and I feel.
Then you have 3 bands now by yourself and 2 with people.
Excuse me, what?
You have 3 bands solo?
No, I don't have a band right now.
Okay.
Because there are many projects besides this idea of having a band, but I will. I already have.
How many projects do you have?
a lot.
Even
Okay,
I'm saying,
I will say it. Okay, I have my own project, like Kataeva project,
uh-huh.
and I'm working with now. I'm working with the the album, and idea came from using the application slowly. Uh,
In this
People
case, the
slowly.
Ableton. When you're saying about the application,
I mean, application slowly, application, mobile application.
okay. Oh, wow.
And I found a lot of people from all over the world there,
Okay.
and I had an idea to make songs on their texts and poems. So it will be like an album, including people from all over the world.
Wow. Then
Yes,
what is the name of that app?
slowly. Slowly is the name.
The name is Slowly. That's what you said,
Slowly.
Slowly.
Slowly
I
is the name
didn't
of the
know about
application.
that application.
It's really great, and you can practice languages there. And this is the first project. The second one is the collaboration with a talented, very talented French musician, and we are working on a song right now. It will be, I think, it will be really great.
On that project,
And
how many people is in?
me and this musician from France. Actually, it's his project is called Melatonin.
Wow, like the
Melatonin.
yeah.
He's a very talented musician, really. So
Melatonin is
I'm
about
very,
the
I'm very
sleeping.
proud. I'm very proud that we are doing that.
Really?
Yes, I am.
Still, you don't have nothing upload, right? You know, when it's on Spotify or YouTube.
You mean me or him?
No, well, in this case, both. In that project,
No, we didn't. We didn't. We
I
have a
still you don't.
collaboration.
Okay,
We have a collaboration, and we are working on a song. It will be
okay.
only one song, and we are working on it right now. And this is the second project. The third project is the collaboration with a Russian guy,
Yeah.
and we are going to make a song about ecology and ecological topics. It's a very important topic, difficult, very difficult song will be. So it's a bit of, it's longer.
Mhm.
So it takes some time to write it and to have the right lyrics for it. And well, as I told you, evening coffee party.
Yeah.
It's with my friends. The fifth project is well, it's a future band. It's I have my friend drummer girl,
Yeah.
and I have another friend. She plays piano, and I think that three of us we can do the band. And I have the drafts of songs already, seven songs.
Seven songs. Then Isa, that is the well, is more mature project. You know, it's if you have 7 songs, now you have something to show.
Yes, it's. But I think it still will be inside Kataeva project. It's just another album, but there will be another musicians, and I'm so grateful for that. And I think the genre will be a bit different. It will be more like indie rock
Yeah.
sound. So everything is a bit different, and I'm so excited about it because you can work on each project differently, and it's for me it's very interesting to make
Yeah,
different
totally.
music.
Have you played alive with someone?
No, that's my pain. Maybe it's because I feel myself not a professional, or maybe I didn't have a chance to perform. I don't know, but I'm looking into that.
Yeah, the good point about music is that even that's the good point about music, that you don't need to be a professional to play. But talking about that, it's easy to go to a bar to ask permission about that. Hey, can I play there? Or you have to tramit something with the government.
You have to talk to the manager, to creative manager of the bar, because there are many people in Moscow. I live in Moscow,
Yeah.
and there are many people in Moscow who want to play, and you have to contact with a person who is responsible for that, and offer your performance.
Yeah.
And it's a big chance that they will not take you.
But then you don't have to ask permissions to the government or something like that.
No,
No, nothing to
government,
do.
government.
Yeah,
No.
I don't know. In some places, even if you want to play in the streets, you have to.
In the streets, yeah, actually there is a kind of problem because well, several years ago it was really a problem, a problem to play on the streets, but now some people do, but
In this case, Moscow. Do you think that is the capital from the music from Russia? Is Moscow the most important city to make music?
well, maybe some people think this way, and I think that Moscow is a very big center of music, of course, but I don't think that it's the main point of music in Russia, because we have a very huge musical society in St. Petersburg, in YKB, Yekaterinburg, and other cities.
Is another series that they have more movement about the music.
They have a lot of movements. They have societies. They have their own activity and kind of stuff. And it's really amazing that nowadays people are not gathering in one place like Moscow. They're trying to do stuff inside their cities, towns, and they are creating culture there.
Do you think that there is a new movement about music in Russia?
I think so, because yes, I think it's a new movement, a new wave in the sense of modernity, in sense of contemporary culture. I mean, a lot of people are trying to find their identity, the collective identity, the personal identity, cultural identity in Russia, because we were stuck in post-Soviet culture for many years, and I think many people are bored of this now. They just need something new, and there are many musicians that are trying to find their own voice, their own sound, and they are creating culture right now. And there are so many young musicians, they're working on it right now in Russia, in different cities, in different places, and it's really amazing. Of course, Moscow is a very important center of this, but I'm really fascinated by the thing that it happens at the same time in many cities and towns in Russia, and I want it to be more and more.
You have entire streets with several proposals about music. Then, here we have at least here in Mexico, we have like several, like one street that is so famous because there are a lot of bars and stuff like that, and people playing there. I think that you have something like that, right?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We have.
What is the name of that street? We're going to suppose that somebody in Istanbul is hearing us, or I don't know, and maybe they want to know how is a real music street in Moscow. Then you have to go to
Arbat.
Then that's the point.
It's the name of the street, Arbat.
Yeah. So good.
The old Arbat. A lot of musicians are playing there, but it's not the only place, of course. But yes, it's Arbat.
The most important genre that is hitting there now? What is that genre for you? The rock, the hip hop, the techno, the
What do you mean? Can you
the
repeat,
genre?
please?
You know about the music genre. Even I don't know. Maybe I'm pronouncing because you
No,
use that
what do
word
you
too.
mean? The most important genre
The most
or the
popular
most
music
favorite?
in
The
that
most
is
popular
yeah,
in Russia.
yeah. Well, we're gonna say first in Russia, second in that street in Arbat.
When I'm not an expert really
Yeah, of
in
course.
popular music.
But you have lived in Russia like 30 years. Then I
Yes,
think
I
that
think. Well, I think that Russian pop music, hip hop, rap music, and alternative rock music.
is so popular
Uh,
too.
yes.
Okay.
What else? Indie music is popular. Uh, well, artists that I mentioned, for example, I don't know. There are so many that it's impossible to count them, and they're working in also in pop and not only in pop music. Indie music there's also popular. So and the foreign artists
Yeah.
also pop music, indie pop music. There are a lot of genres that are popular. Of course there are societies which like little cultural groups,
Hmm.
or not little, sorry, not little, like big cultural groups
Yeah.
that are listening to heavy metal still, or
But it's not
folk metal,
popular.
or it's more
There is.
like
It's like here we have a lot of people hearing metal music, black metal music, grindcore, etc., etc. But it's
yes,
not
yes.
popular. You know,
Well,
it's totally not popular.
I think it depends on the locus.
The locals,
Locus, cultural locus. They
like the local people.
the little society, the locus, like subculture, but not
Like the
they're not gathered by the topic, like
like the minorities. But I got you. The people that is not so. You have a bunch of people hearing that, but it's not the popular music.
there can be a lot actually people who are listening to heavy music. I think it's not the pop music,
Yeah,
in the meaning of what we call the pop music,
yeah,
but there are still many people who listen to stuff like this, the heavy music. But as I mentioned before, the most popular is pop music,
yeah.
hip hop music, uh, indie folk, indie rock, indie folk. No, it's mostly indie rock and alternative rock, some kind of this,
Even here for you, maybe it's
and
gonna be.
rap music also.
You know, it's kind of bad, but the rock is losing territory. But talking about you, I know that it's important for you your work, your job. Then can you tell me about it?
Yeah, it's a really important thing for me. It's very connected with my project, The Tree. So yes, I work in the museum, the Gulag History Museum. Gulag History Museum. It's a memory museum about the political repressions during the Stalin times, the ruling of Stalin times in 30s and 50s. And well, it influenced me really a lot. I'm working with people who are trying to find information about their repressed relatives, and I help them. So I see this process, and I work with the trauma, the collective trauma. And it influenced me so much that I wrote this song, Weather Station, and the wagons that we discussed before, right?
Mm-hmm.
The wagons, which has some levels, and on the one level, it also speaks about repressions. And Weather Station is like the song about a person who is in a labor camp, forced labor camp, and well, it's based on the real story about a woman who was in a Karlak. It's
What is a
in the
Cadillac?
Karaganda. It's a place,
Okay.
and there was a forced labor camp, and she worked on weather station, and well, she had her son, but her son was living not with her. Of course, she was repressed, and he was living far away. And she was writing a little book for him. She draw pictures for him, and suddenly she found out that her son killed himself.
The girl.
The son,
Okay.
her son. He did this because of, well, because people hated the enemies of people and children of enemies of people, and it was so hard, so difficult for him, so he killed himself. And when this woman found out that her son is dead, she just gave this little book away. And for me, it was such a powerful moment, and I really wanted to. It's a celebration of New Year.
Okay. Still?
Yes. Okay, and I wanted to write a song about this experience because it was such a powerful moment, and it's like a story about how a woman, she is walking in this darkness. So it's like a weather station, so it's in the steppe, and she sees this darkness and this pain that she has, and she's trying to deal with this pain. So the weather station is about this pain, this darkness, this loneliness, this purifying. So it's very much connected with the Gulag topic, but as you see, it's a very, very personal experience also. So it's, again, there is a space between the personal and the collective.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like vegans, the weather station has always this distance between personal and collective. And I think that the whole tree project is about this distance and about the time. Because, well, I very often use loops in music.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The
Even
pieces of
I
sound
hear
that
them.
repeats.
Yeah.
Yes, they repeat. They repeat. Sorry, they
Yeah.
repeat. And for me, it's kind of working with the time. It's like when we can actually return into the past, but in real life we can't do that. But in music, it's like we can do that. There's the loop of the sound, and it's repeating all the time. And it's some kind of a magical thing, you know? When you're writing these loops, it goes into circles, like the circle of time. And it's a kind of magic for me. That's why I use this a lot. And there are a lot of this kind of loops into this tree project. I don't think in vegans. Yes, also in vegans, but in weather station more of these loops and other songs from this project too. So yeah, so about the place where I worked, Gulag Museum, it's I think that this was the start of this album, because when I started to work in this museum, and I still work there now, and it is the reason, it's the point where when I realized that I want to change my methods in music. Did that ever happen with you when you see something or experience something, and you realize that you want to change your methods in art, your methods in music, and you start doing something very different that you have
E-
done before.
Even with me, it happens with the master. For me, even I have had a new VST that
Mm-hmm.
sounds so good. I don't know if
Uh-huh.
you mean about that, but I have had a new VST that sounds so good that I want to change all my songs one day with that. Even it's a little bit of anxiety, but I change like 50 songs, drums.
I meant, yes, I understand you. When I find some new sound, I want the sound to be everywhere. Also, I know this feeling, but I was talking about something more like life experience. Like you find out something on, I don't know, some news, or met some people, or read some book or
Yeah,
something, or watch some movie, and you suddenly have an idea that never came into your head before, and you realize, I want to change my music, I want to do something different, I want to work in another genre, or I want to have new methods in music, or
yeah,
try to I don't know. Well, for example, just an example, a person is writing lyrics, and then he's writing music to these lyrics,
yeah,
and he just saying, oh, I want to write music and then lyrics to that music, for example, just for
yeah.
example. Or some kind of challenge, like, okay, in this music I want to use I want to use guitar or a piano. Well, I meant something like that, life experience.
You're saying something that explodes your mind. That about that is so
Yeah, yeah.
so cool idea that explode and you
Hmm.
said, oh come on, like um, with several things has happened that, but with the music, I think that maybe I'm gonna sound a little bit more superficial, but or not, but all the time, even I have made a lot of process to make music, but a lot. Even the other day, I was watching. Even if you change, even if you have seen that your music is, I think maybe all the time is 4/4. You
Yeah.
know the fraction, the compass. The
Hmm. Hmm.
if you put a 6/11, six
Hmm.
eight, six
Hmm.
five. Even I have changed that, and even
Yeah.
something to try to all the time
Yeah.
to change. Because the other way is gonna be so flat your music or as the same. Maybe I have showed you only one part of my music. Even I have shown you only one project, but I
Hmm.
have several too. Then it's so different, and it's
Hmm.
kinda as a musician all the time try to find another way to make music because the other way is gonna be so boring. Got it? For me, even when I was a kid, I had a friend here. The even I play with him, the time in time, and he has his own projects. And that guy, when we were like 17 or something like that, we took a guitar and he
Hmm.
start to write down and me I start to play some chords and we start to making the song. And then later I start to lose that. I went to a death metal band for several years
Hmm.
when I was like 20, even 21, 22, something like that. And to make death metal music is so different as alternative music. In the alternative, still you respect so much the voice. Then when you play, you try. The voice has a more protagonism. Got it the point, right? Like a
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
presence level.
Hmm.
And in the death metal, no. In the death metal, it was something like more jazz. Like I have four chords. The drummer has something, and one,
Hmm.
two, three. We're gonna start at the same time, and everybody start with the same
Hmm.
business. But it was so different. The lyrics they
Yeah.
can be so not melodic, then they can take another line. And I start to, even if they put me another person, your cat so good, I have one
Yes.
too.
Yeah.
Okay. Even when they put you in front one people, it changed all. It changed everything. Even it's supposed, the other day I didn't know that this before, but in the copyrights, if I'm making a song and there is a drummer here and the bass player there, and there is one guy eating a hamburger in the other corner, but he's saying sounds bad, sounds good. I think that your voice is so sad, or stuff like that. In the copyright, like a law, that guy is gonna be in the authors from the
Yeah.
music. Even I
That's
didn't know
shit.
that, because yeah, it's kind of weird. But it's supposed, even do you know Slayer, right? It's a heavy metal band. That guys, they had problems because the guitar says, I am the guy that made the music, and the drummer said, you play a drummers, you don't play a melodic instrument, you only play
Yeah.
tuk 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 tak tak tak, and that's it. And the guy, when they went to make the copyrights, the guy, the drummer said, okay, I make the tuk tuk tak tak, and there is no place for me in the author copyrighted stuff. And then he lost a lot of songs, and when he had lawyers and they were big and all the stuff, they said, no, don't be stupid, you were on that place, then you had a point in the composition as them. For me, getting back to your question, when I'm working with someone that is there, even we're gonna suppose, even I had one band one day that the drummer was like, come to the rehearsal, come, we're gonna drink a few beers here, come. And then all the time we had different people in that rehearsal room, but a lot drinking beers. I was a kid then. It was like a kid, like 21, 22. It was legal to drink. Then we had several friends there, and one got like more one kind of music, and another, and all the time they were giving his opinion. All the time, this sounds good, this sounds bad. And they were our friends, then they can say something like, that sounds so, it's a bullshit, your stuff, and even I start to realize that the songs, they start to take a shape for the people that came to visit us, only to, because the people, they were there and they were drinking. Can you imagine 5 kids drinking and another 4 guys drinking too? Then it was like a composition party. We're gonna do whatever we want, and it was so funny that, and then I start to realize that when I saw that stuff about the copyright, then I start to realize that yes, even one guy that is there, or even we start to compose, and it came when I was a kid. It came a girl. Can you imagine? A guy from 18, and you see a pretty girl in your rehearsal room, and you are making that. Then even that stuff put me a nervous behavior. Got it? Then the music was so different. And well, at least maybe I'm not connecting with your point, but for me it was that
Not at all.
not at all. Yeah, even I could imagine. But
But it's also an experience. I'm thinking actually that you just said that that influenced my, for example, singing. Right? I saw a pretty girl and I became nervous and I started singing a different way. But for me, it's still the art that goes through your body, like through you. So it's like, okay, it's like I have a cat, right?
Yeah.
And when I record my voice and the cat suddenly jumps into my table, and there's a difference in my voice, but the cat doesn't have copyright for my music, right?
Yeah,
I'm not
so
I'm
good.
not trying to compare a cat and a person, of course
Yeah,
not.
yeah, yeah.
I just wanted to say that if you are doing something, everything influences you.
Yeah.
It can be the weather, it can be books or movies, it can be people. But if you are doing this by yourself, it's only you. But that's why I don't understand why someone's advice makes that person also a part of uh, copyright machine. I don't know. I think advices are important. So these people who were sitting in these
Yeah.
rehearsal rooms, yeah, it's really important to have someone who can say, okay, this is bullshit and it was good.
Yeah, to have the
But
feedback.
the feedback, right? The
Yeah, yeah.
feedback. But I don't think that makes this person also a part of the creation
Mm.
because, well, when I ask my friends, is that good? They they're not a part of my project. I don't know if it's
No,
right or
even
wrong.
for me, it's interesting because at least it looks like I'm so influenced for all around with me in this case. And with you is more something because I have had that process about that when you spit out a song from your heart. Well, at least for me, I think that everything around me get an influence in even something that I have made by myself. You know, to start to make a music in all the process that I have told you. Even I have seen a movie,
Mm-hmm,
and after that, to came to make a song. Or I have
mm-hmm,
seen even um, I don't know, even to hear some albums and later
mm-hmm.
start to make a song. I have had a lot of different process to make music that and one it has been as you describe. I like a lot. I like both. When you
Mm-hmm.
work with other people and when you work by yourself because it's
Yeah.
so
Mm-hmm.
different. I have another project called nasal is with me and another friend, and I said, this is not gonna be a democracy because we have 50-50. When you have a band, it's a good point that if you are four, at least they can say three, I like this riff from guitar, and the other, okay, if you don't like it, sorry, but you are one. Then crossing, then you are cancelled. But in a project of two people, both have 50-50. Then we
Yeah.
have the agreement about that I'm going to put whatever I want, and you can put over whatever you want. It's supposed the artist is so emotional. It's supposed. And I think is yes, because several artists we try to consume a lot of stuff. The artist is so emotional because the other way for me it will be so hard to make lyrics or to make music or stuff like that.
Yes, it's an interesting topic. It's kind of somehow connected with. Uh, uh, I remember we were discussing it before. It's connected with the psychology, yes, and the feelings, emotions of people. For example, there is the stereotype that um, musicians have depressions
Yeah.
or or some kind of, I don't know, other things. Well, it's partly the truth because as you said, musicians are emotional people, but it's not every person has depression or, well, it's an interesting it's actually an interesting issue to discuss because emotions really influence our art, our music, and how we can control them, like when we let them go and when we are trying to use them to create some art. And when a person is in depression, for example, he he writes some dark lyrics, some dark music, and when he's very happy, he can write some happy lyrics, right? And well, for me, it's well, I have the bipolar disorder, so for me, it's obvious when I'm in depression, I really write sad lyrics, and when I'm hypomania, I'm working all of these projects like every time without rest, and I can make different kind of music, and again when I'm depressed, I can't work on music, and I can barely get up and make coffee for myself. But I write sad lyrics, and these emotions really influenced a lot, not only my life, but also my art, my music. Well, maybe, I don't know, maybe each musician is an emotional person. Maybe I agree with you, because even when you study, and by you I don't mean you,
Yeah. No, yeah, don't
I
worry.
and I don't mean myself. I'm talking about just random person. When a person studies at, I don't know, music school or something, I don't know, the university, and he is taught to play emotionally, like you have to feel the instrument and stuff like this. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You have to feel the instrument with emotions, like he's playing and all his body is moving. So they like teach thoughts, their thoughts, right? I well to use their emotions also to play music, right?
Yeah. Even you never have had a blocking artist creative process when you
A
block
blocking.
and you cannot do anything?
Yes.
How you do? Even I'm asking you that because it's supposed, as we said, the artist is emotional and stuff like that. But is for me the artist has to be the artist too to how to handle your emotions, because it's
Yes.
only because even it's like there is a depression level that you can work, and it's so good when you feel that sadness that give you lyrics and music. Oh my god, it's so good. But there is another depression level when you don't, you get stuck and you don't want to do anything, and and it's another point to view the depressed, because for me you have to handle your emotions all the time. Is about auto-regulating your emotions. The point is that you have
Yes.
to over-regulate that stuff, because the other way and I'm saying that because even I'm losing the point, but that yeah, when you have that blocking artist, even I was reading the other day a book about that, how to break the artist blocking, or the blocking
Ah,
artist process,
okay.
creative, blah blah, and the girl says that you have to write every day. Even if you
Yes.
want to write, I don't want to write today. This is a bullshit. I don't want. If you just start to write that, if you want to, only you have that in your head, then you have to write every day that stuff.
Yes.
And I start to, okay, I said, I'm gonna do that. Because in the
Uh-huh.
beginning, it was something like, even we say something so Mexican is to say, you know, like, that is not true. Even
Okay.
it's a Mexican expression that about that. Yeah, and then I start to write every day, and I
Uh-huh.
start to make even. I never have
Written.
written a book. Only my thesis for my career, my degree. I don't know how to say my studies. I made a book, but it's so easy write about something that you're working. But then I start to write about the story, and every day I start a new story, because that's the exercise is you cannot connect the stories. You always, all the time, you have to write a new story. Then I start to write, and I said, oh, come on, this really works. And even if you never have made this so good exercise, I have made that exercise like 20 days, and 20 days I made, then I took a lot of lyrics to make songs from that. Because for me it's a problem. To make music is for me so easy, and I like it, and I enjoy, and I can do several music. But lyrics for me is a block. I don't know, I need to, it's difficult. It's not easy as to make music. And then I said something as, even you can push as an artist the emotions that even you didn't know that you had there. And it was so interesting, because sometimes the people, even I know people that is artists, and they don't want to write. Only they start to make music, but only when they have the inspiration. Yeah,
right?
only when you have the inspiration. And I said, I have heard that you cannot do that, because not all the time you're gonna have that enjoying inspiration that that is like a, how do you say? Do you know who is Tinkerbell? Tinkerbell is a friend from Peter Pan. It's a story.
Tinkerbell.
Okay, and the people, they want to have something like a, I don't know what is the name in English. It's a, but that Tinkerbell, we're gonna suppose. They want to have a, I'm gonna touch you. Yeah, now you have the inspiration to make your music, and not all the time it's like that. Then you have to push your muscle, your artistic muscle, to make music. The other way is not gonna working.
It's actually a good point. I heard about Stephen King. If he writes every day, he said yes. And he was asked, and what if you don't have inspiration or the energy to write? What do you do? What do you do then? And he said, I write every day. I still write every day. And for me, it's like a very good point, because, well, when I don't have inspiration or energy, I know that it's only the chemistry inside my head which starts the depression. Or for example, I'm just tired. I have to have some rest, but I know that inspiration is something that it's not always coming by surprise. Sometimes you have to warm it up, and you really have to work really often. When I lost the habit of writing poems often, for example, for several months I don't write anything, and then I start to write again, and I'm just, oh my god, I forgot how to do that. Yeah, so you have to always you have to work, not push, but maybe just to really just to warm it up, just trying to write some words on, play some. It's good. It's even good if you play couple chords and write some words, and it's enough, but you did it. And it's already great. So I think, yes, I think it's a good point.
As you're saying, for you is like warm it up. For me, sometimes even it's hurting. Really, it's painful to start to
sometimes,
even it's something, maybe it's my duality that I want to make music, because that's why I sit down and I said I'm gonna take a guitar. As you say, I can start to warm up even my fingers. But even sometimes it's painful. Even for me, the worst is like when you start something kind of good, but later you don't have the chorus and all the stuff and the effort went away, and oh my god, that stuff, even, I kind of, I can be angry with myself, like
Yes, I know. I know.
not something like I'm gonna hit myself. No, I'm not so insane. But you can be angry with yourself because about
Yes.
that. Then that's why sometimes, and after that exercise, then I saw that if I push myself, I can do a great things. Even as you said, is something about to warm up. Even now that I'm thinking, yes, because I have made one songs that I push. I said this is totally it's totally a bullshit. It's so bad, and I start to put chords and later a few melodies, and later they start to be good. Then I think this is totally, we are agree about that.
Well, this is all. Goodbye.